Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Marveling in the Madness with myself, Stephen, and
me, Dominic. Oh, that's a nice and awkward introduction there.
it really was. I was like, oh, that's so bad, but we'll move on. How have you been, my friend?
I've been well, thank you. Yeah, it's been a nice week off for Christmas. And yourself?
Yeah, can't complain. Can't complain. It was that good that I forgot the days of the week and forgot that not yesterday. The 30th was my dad's birthday, so I rang him on the 31st.
Classic.
Son of the Year award.
Classic. Setting a good example.
So yeah, that's how much I enjoyed it. Days or just didn't mean anything.
Who needs days though?
What is the point of dates and times?
It's all
in there.
It's
all on my time.
You're remembering his day of birth.
When I remember, that's when it happens. Right. So, which topic do you want to go with? Do you want to go with faith or rugby? Rugby is a very short one, but I feel like faith would be more important.
Yeah, let's start with Leicester Tigers on Sale. I thought obviously you support Sale rugby and I support Tigers, although you've been coming to a few Tigers games recently.
Okay, let me at least make my confession, right? Okay, this is how I was gonna go. I'll admit I'm a fake fan because I only followed them because of Faf the Clip was there. Now that he's not there, yes, I'm still watching a few games, but I've never actually been there. But I just enjoy rugby. Rugby is a real winner, and it gets me as you know the person of enjoyment. So let's move on from that.
So yeah. Well, anyway, Leicester Tigers got smashed on Friday, as we all know. I think it ended up 45. I think it was 40-5.
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it got more brutal once we'd sort of lost our entire back line to injury. To be honest, you were winning at that point anyway. We failed to score, and your defence was holding up brilliantly. Like Sale's defence, I should say. So I think it's hard. I think it's hard to judge the two teams on that. Obviously, we were playing into the wind in the first half, and then by the time we probably could have taken advantage of it, half our team had gone off injured, including possibly Pollard again. Although it seems like they were going to take him off anyway, but he scored a try, so that's a good.
He did score a try, but I was watching the highlights of that, and yeah, obviously he wasn't motoring as normally because he's normally quite a quick guy, so he was more or less at like limping speed, even though he still scored the try. Yeah, he didn't look at his best performance, I would say.
No. So I'm not going to read too much into it at the moment in terms of where both teams are at, because I think obviously Tigers kind of fell apart. Literally, all their players went off hobbled, and hopefully they're all okay. Importantly, but obviously it wasn't ideal. So we'll see what happens in the next games. Hopefully we'll not miss Steve Borthwick and.
Such an interesting contrast because obviously the week before that it played really, really well.
Yeah, I think Sale's defense was really strong. Some of it borderline getting away with stuff maybe, but you can't knock it. They were doing.
Didn't you also go down to 14 minutes at one point as well?
We did, yeah. I think to be honest, the game was kind of over.
Well, it was already lost by that, but obviously that's not helping your case as well.
No. So all in all, I'm not going to read too much into that game. Sale's a hard place to go play rugby, and Sale played really well. So they've still got a few players come back though, so they're looking good. They could be certainly looking to win the title this year, I think. But we'll see. I think Leicester should still be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. We just need to pull it together a bit and sort our attacking play, because if we don't get through our big ball carriers like Jasper Visa and Montoya or Ollie Cracknell, who went off injured, then we tend to struggle a bit. So obviously most teams do, but we've got to find some way of playing when we can't just rely on three guys to get us go forward. So
yeah, and obviously you're still suffering the loss of losing your manager, so that's still going to upset things on how play is doing. So you can't not take that into account.
No. So we'll give it some time. But it was an interesting match to watch anyway. It was a bit of a non-event by the end of it, but for the first half it was interesting.
Oh, good.
You mentioned something else you wanted to talk about as well.
Yeah. So I have to go into. So basically, thinking the other day, like the importance of faith and testimonies, because recently I've just been watching like a lot of like testimonies on YouTube because obviously I have nothing better to do with my life. But some of them are quite good, really inspiring. Well, I'll say most of them are, to be fair. And obviously it just resonated with me. It was like, I say this last, maybe, because obviously I've always been a Christian, but I'd probably say this last year and a half, I would say, like I've really like gotten into it, like started reading the Bible more, not been afraid of asking people to pray for me. It's like back in the day, it was a really big thing. Not that I was like shy about it, just felt really awkward and just like maybe I don't need it, this, that, and the third. But yeah, I feel like this last year, like my faith has really grown. So, I think that's something like quite important to talk about as well.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I think for openness, we're both Christians and both chosen to be Christians. So I think faith is vital. Obviously, for us, it's that Christian belief and that Christian faith in a hope of God and Jesus. But I think whatever your beliefs, whether it's in a God or in something, whether that you believe in science or you have faith in yourself, and I think it's so important to have faith in something. I think when you lose faith, I think faith gives you a purpose, it gives you something to aim for, and obviously, again, both of us have found our purpose have found the Christian relationship, and the Christian faith is our purpose. But it also gives you hope for something different, hope for a better future. If you've got faith in something, then you can have hope for something, because when you have no hope, then it kind of, you just want to give up. So I think faith's vital in whatever form. Obviously we have a perspective that we talk from, and that we think is right, and we find it really helpful. But broader for anyone watching who is of different backgrounds, then I think it's vital that you find faith in something. Yeah.
No, 100%. And I think like my faith, it's not only affecting me, but it's affecting others around me. I mean, it's just like their lives are getting better, because like the way I interact with them, the knowledge, the way I speak is also changing the way I am as well, helping me become a better person. It just has that sort of knock-on effect. So for me, it's really important that I keep going with it. And like I said before, it helps you through those really troubling times, when you feel like you have no one to turn to, or you can't speak to, any friend, family member, you feel like you're just going through something alone. Sometimes it's just good to know that, God's always got your back. And sometimes that's hard to forget, because you feel like you're so lost in, whatever situation you're going through. And obviously in that moment, that situation feels like the biggest thing in your life. So we always tend to over exaggerate a lot of the situations that we're going through just for that particular moment. But that being said, it's just nice to know that you have that faith that you can pull through, and God's going to be with you, and you give you the strength, the character to push through, So for me, that just not discovering it this year, because I feel like I've always had it, but I feel like, I don't know, something just clicked this year and everything just made more sense. I'm like, I think, when was it? Yesterday, I think I spent probably about 30 minutes in the Bible, whereas previous years ago, probably would never happen. And I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like I was doing it out of like someone's told me like, oh, you've got to read the Bible. It's just because I wanted to do it. So it made it more fun for me. So like, now I can go searching for certain things and find scriptures and try to remember them all. But there's a lot.
Yeah, well, I agree. From my point of view, my faith means everything to me. It's the bedrock on which my life is built. I build everything around that belief, and that what I believe is my relationship with God, and knowing that from my beliefs that God's got a bright future for us, and He's got a purpose and a hope that has been won, and that He's there for us and with us all the time. That gives you great hope for carrying on when times are tough. Like you say, when things are difficult, you actually have someone to go to that has the answers, and you don't always get the answers you want, but you always know that something will be around the corner. And I think that's just a great way to great way to be able to live your life with a hope for something better. And my experience has always been that my relationship with God has been the best thing that I've had and have. And no matter what I face, that I know that I can face it with him. And obviously I've seen like the change that you've had in the last sort of year, just seeing you connect with your faith in a different way in your relationship with God, seeing how that's made you grow has been really, really cool and really incredible. So I can only vouch for our experiences on that. But as I said, I think just obviously we think God's for us is real and part of our journey. But as I said, any faith of any sort of belief in something is so critical. It's when you lose belief, lose faith, it shakes your entire bedrock in whatever you believe. So it's amazing, and I would encourage everyone to like look into things and to understand what it is they believe, what keeps them going, what gets them up in the morning, and what the purpose of life is, because we need purpose and we need hope. Otherwise, it's empty, and you lose your happiness and your joy in life, I think.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's like you say, it's like you have that drive. What is your why? And I always connect the two. So obviously for us, it's connecting to God, and then everything else, will be blessed upon us in the way God sees fit. Yeah, I think it's massively important that someone that, like I say, finds something that they believe in that just gives them that little bit of extra juice that go to keep going through whatever situation they'll be going through, or something that just gives us that encouragement.
Yeah, and it should build you up. Your faith should build you up. It should encourage you. And as I say, I would encourage anyone to look into the Christian faith and understand it. And there are people that give Christianity a bad name, and there's people that give all religions a bad name, unfortunately, or even science. People give science a bad name. Whatever you believe in, there's people who give it a bad name, unfortunately. But obviously, I can only vouch for my experience, and my experience has been that walking with God has been the best thing that I could have ever done, and that faith is what roots me in. The idea of ever losing that faith shakes me to the core sometimes when I'm wrestling with challenging questions, and I just think I couldn't do life without that faith. Whether that makes me a weak person, some would say, but I just think that's just an acknowledgement of the reality of my life. So yeah, I obviously faith is essential in our view. But
yeah, well, I don't think it would make you a weaker person, because I think we have to acknowledge that there's whether you believe in God or not, you have to believe in something that is great in yourself, because none of this was just pure coincidence. You're not just on this planet, just by chance. I don't like to believe that. Maybe that's me. I don't know, giving a lot more to go, but yeah, you're not just here by chance. And the way things are like created, you have to believe in some sort of higher power. I feel like it's more logical.
I tend to agree. I think that the universe around you shows so much signs of design.
Some sort of great creator.
Yeah, that it's very hard to argue against that from my perspective. But there are people that think the world is subject to chance. And I suppose if you had enough endless possibilities and endless time frames to do it, then it's possible that something could have developed. But I just look around the world and look at the intricacy of all the details and think that there's got to be design there. There's got to be. It's so wonderful that the world, there's lots of horror in it, don't get me wrong, but there's so much beauty in nature, and it's just. And then you think actually look at the intricacy of the detail of nature around you, and then look at the expanse of space, and it's just, you think, wow, so big and so small in terms of in the detail. It's amazing. It really is.
No, wholeheartedly agree. Right. And then just a short little segment, 'cause not actually done that much research on it, so we'll keep it short and brief. Neuralink. Do you know
Yes.
what it's about?
No. Well, I know that it's meant to be sort of a computer in the brain that you can connect with things, but beyond that, I know little to nothing.
Okay. So the brief overview is, like I say, a computer in the brain that is quote unquote supposed to aid us with some of the diseases like what's the one we forget all the time?
Alzheimer's or
Alzheimer's. There's
dementia.
a whole basically the ones we all worry about as we start to getting older.
Yeah.
And basically it's meant to aid with that. It's had its ups and its downs. Some people worry that it's been doing like too much testing on animals. Obviously, you can't just go straight to human trials, so there's always going to be backlash on that. But what I've seen, it looks promising. Whether or not I have it or not, obviously it's yet to be decided in the future. Who knows? But I also think like something like that is just a little bit worrying because anything technology is hackable.
Yeah,
so that's like
true.
one of my major concerns. Obviously, they could hack your brain. And maybe, I don't know which way they would do it. Could they send you advertisements? Could they stop, just you doing your daily things or just existing? It opens up the little black box, just so many opportunities for things to go wrong rather than, opportunities for things that it's actually for even.
Yeah, I think it sounds like to me, well, I think everyone gets a bit nervous when you start thinking about things in your brain that could control you, don't you? No one so everyone's seen Terminator and things like that, and too many sci-fi films where people are controlled by computers in the brain, and so inevitably we all get a bit nervous about the idea of it. But I don't know. I think it'll all depend on what sort of controls are in place and what it actually does. I think if it's not connected to any network and it's there just as a system that has limited functionality, but it's there to help you with memories and things and connects only in that function, then I think provided it's controlled, then I can't see why that would be an issue. I think obviously it could still be hacked in theory, I suppose, but I think it could really help people as well. So I think it's hard to pass judgment until you know what it is. I think whatever's going to happen is probably people are going to try to commercialize that sort of thing. So like you say, whether you get adverts playing in your brain, which would be a very strange thing. I have enough problems with the weird dreams when I sleep. I don't need weird ads playing when I sleep, especially after our last episode where we were talking about even very strange ads that people come out with sometimes. The last thing you need is to be imprinted by bizarre ads. But
what do you think about to go on another slightly weird tangent? We're not that far away from it. So there's these glasses now. I can't remember the name of it, but basically it has all the information. So you've obviously watched Iron Man. Basically, when he goes around with these nice little glasses on, you can see all the pop-ups and video calls, etc., etc. So I feel like we're not too far away from it. So it is a possibility that in maybe not even the next 10 years, the next 5 years, because I don't think they've started human trials. I could be wrong about that, but we're not that far. So if it's something you wear on your face, how's it that far from something that you actually put in your brain? And obviously they're also talking about chips that you can put in your hands or your fingers, so you don't need bank cards anymore. And obviously this is another weird tangent I'm going on to, but I love to do that if you haven't noticed. So they're also talking about putting like chips in your hands, so you wouldn't have to carry bank cards. So obviously it's not out of the realms of possibility, because you got to think like you already carry your phone pretty much everywhere you go with you, so it's almost like you are integrated with your phone essentially. And I take it a step further, or wear Apple Watch, so I'm even more connected. So my phone would be out of the room, but I can still get messages. So even then I'm not disconnected, am I? I'm always connected to what's going on in the world around me. So I don't feel like it's that out of the realms of like the possibility that it'll happen, and people are really drawn to it. Obviously you have to see the first couple of human trials and see where that goes, but because also talking about, again, another weird tangent, you can actually upload your brain into like the cloud and store memories and all sorts of whatnot. So like then it goes to like a whole nother level. It's not even about, you know, the health issues that you could improve on. Then it just goes to more or less like human AI level. You can like save your brain, save your memories. It's just really, really crazy. You know?
Some crazy stuff happening, isn't there? It's quite exciting on one front, and the other is like, you know, before long, everyone will be suspicious of it, but then everybody in the world will probably have a Neuralink and be run by their computer in their brain rather than the computer in their hand or the computer on their watch or whatever. Because humanity's like that, aren't they? We love a good.
Oh, we always want the next upgrade, don't we? Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because the more technology comes out, the more some of us start to go. I just want a simple life. I'm not going to go on social media and like. Obviously, we do a bit of. We're making a video for YouTube, so we're obviously connected to some degree. But I don't go on Facebook or anything. I stay away.
I always commend you for that. Like, it's not that I don't know. Obviously, like, should I do that? But then also, like, for me, it's good for business. So, like, it's a whole weird thing. I don't know.
I go on like once every 3 months just to see if anyone's emailed me, but very rarely do they do. For me, I don't need it. I don't connect with it. But
I think that's really good. In terms of like, because obviously there's a lot of I say obviously, but there's a lot of things out there that, you know, social media is bad for your health because you're only portraying the best part of your life. So whoever's following you only sees these things and makes their life feel like, you know, their life's not worthy, or they're just having a terrible time. Like, why can't they live the life that whatever person they're following is living? So if anything, it's probably doing really well for your mental, because you're not seeing like someone live their best life. Obviously, you're interacting with real people and then you talk to them, which is the most normal thing. But obviously, as we move on with technology, it's kind of alright because they say like, oh, we're all connected, but it's actually not doing us any favors being that connected.
Yeah, I think the weird thing about our modern society is in many ways we're more connected than ever, but more lonely than ever. Like people don't seem to have deep or as many deep relationships, and the people around them that support them. I think community's really been eroded over the last, I don't know how long, I haven't been alive long enough, but certainly you can really see a sort of degradation of community. And I think that's one thing that we've got quite well because of church community and groups that we've always been a part of that have given us that sense of community. But for people who for a lot of people, I think they don't have that support and that community around them. And I think it must be really, really challenging in the social media age where everything's superficial and people post generally their best part of their lives and try and portray a really happy, perfect life, which is not true.
No one's 100% happy all of the time. I think you'd be insane if you were.
Yeah, it's some people try and portray themselves as 100% happy, and you think
you have emotions. Some days you feel good, some days you don't. Some days someone's just going to tick you off. They say their one word, that's it, time to explode. So like anyone says they're 100% happy all the time, I don't look at you and be like, okay, all right.
I just
whatever
think
you say.
I just think, you know what? I laugh with my wife for sometimes because I say, everyone says I'm old in like the things I like. I like drinking whiskey, or I love koi. I've got a koi pond, I think. And I say, you know what? Everyone gets to like 60 and retires, and they start doing gardening and like building ponds and having koi and doing the things that they really want to do because they now feel it's okay to do because they're retired. I'm like, I'm just starting early. I'm just doing all the things that people want to do secretly, but they don't think it's cool enough to do. And I'm enjoying it. I mean, like, I'm happy with everything.
Koi fish or koi pond even, but hey, if it makes you happy, and I think it's in a way, I like what you do because it's like your way of like connecting with nature. So you're not sat in front of a screen, not staring at your phone 24/7, wondering, you know, who's doing what not. So I think that's quite cool of you, to be honest. Like me, I find it a different way. Like I'd rather go for walks. I don't want to stare at fish particularly. Like a part of that. But like I say, we're all different. The way we connect with nature is great. So your ways, you like to watch your fish swim around for a couple of hours. I'm just gonna go for a walk or run outside.
Yeah, not everyone has to be as boring as me. Like, and I think,
I just think you like what you like.
yeah, it's boring to most people. I accept that. I don't mind. I'm happy with who I am, and I think that's the thing that we need to be. We need to be happy and do the things that actually make us happy. It's one of the things I've always found weird. It's like at university. Don't get me wrong, I did it, but when people go out drinking and go dancing and clubbing, but actually most of them find that it's weird to me. And the older I've got, and that I don't drink now. I do drink. I drink regularly, but I don't drink to excess. I don't drink to get drunk or anything like that. But I find it strange now that people feel the need to get drunk to go out to enjoy themselves, because they wouldn't enjoy themselves in that environment without drinking. And I'm like, but you're having to me, that seems weird, that you're getting yourself to a point where you've changed your personality a bit to try and enjoy something. Actually, why? Surely there's lots of things that you do during the day that you must really enjoy. There must be things that you enjoy. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems to me it's a peer pressure thing, that people feel the need to fit in and join in and to look like a normal person. And actually, if I'm honest, I don't like going out now. I would much rather sit at home with my wife or with some friends around, have a meal, have a drink, and just chat, and then maybe watch a film or do something or play a game or whatever. But for me, I enjoy that, and I don't need to be different to do it.
No, but I think like, because we're a little bit older now, like you've grown out of that stage. Because when you went to uni, that's kind of the thing you do, isn't it? Like, I don't even think it's a thing that maybe peer pressure is a thing, but I feel like a lot of people do it just to have some sort of confidence. Like they don't feel like they have any confidence without the alcohol. So it just gives them, like you say, it changes their personality. So they become more confident once they start drinking. Obviously, if you go to excess, it becomes stupid, but these things can't be helped. So I feel like it's not even a peer pressure thing. I think a lot of people just find like they lack a lot of confidence, and that helps them. But me personally, I'm more or less similar to you now. Like I don't mind going out, but I think since August on my birthday, I don't think I've touched a single drop of alcohol, and I've not really missed it per se. So like it doesn't really have an effect on me anymore. Like it's just not something I want to do. Don't miss it. Didn't like the way. Well, I don't know what happens, to be honest. It's just one day I decided no, and we're just rolling with it. Will it be a forever thing? I don't know. But at the moment, don't miss it. Don't even think about it, to be honest. There are some days where I'm like, drink would be nice. But then I also think like, I don't know, I'm weird with my thoughts sometimes. Like I'm thinking like, what is the reason that I want to go drink? Am I just going for enjoyment, or is there something that's stressing me that I feel like I need to escape from? Because I think that was the reason I used to do a bit more back in the day. Like I was trying to escape from like, I don't know, work pressures or, you know, you name it, whatever, trying to escape, you know, with some alcohol. Whereas now I feel like I'll try to like want to take on my issues head on. So like I don't want to escape from it. I want to solve the issue, or at least, you know, think about it for a little while and then solve it, or just let it be. Like not everything needs to be like you run to some sort of vice, shall I say? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's challenging. It's life. Like I think people just need to, look at reasons why, like you say, but make sure you're doing things for the reasons that you enjoy doing it, and you actually it's something you're passionate about. Don't feel the pressure to fit in so much. And I think if you've got real friends around you, then they should appreciate you for who you are, and not for what you do, but for actually the person that you are. And obviously what you do comes out of that a bit, but actually if you've got good friends, they will value you as an individual, not the things you do to fit in.
I think as I can't speak for everyone, but as I get older, I feel like I actually don't want to fit in. I don't care if I have like the same opinions as anybody else. Like if anything, I'd rather go the opposite way. Like I love playing devil's advocate, just for the sake of it. So like now I'm like, I don't want to fit in. If you don't like me, cool. You don't like what I like, cool. I'm still gonna go do it anyway because it's what I enjoy. You know.
And I think that's good. Like,
As long as it's not harming anybody, obviously.
yeah. Like, I think you should be able to be you, and whatever that looks like, provided you're not having a direct negative effect on others. Obviously, sometimes you do, but not intentionally. But I think, yeah, it's just go out and enjoy being you, and don't live this pressured life, I think. And that's miles away from the topic we were talking, but I think it's important.
Welcome to the Stephen tangent.
Welcome to the madness that is that I suspect is going to be this podcast. So we will start off.
I will start off with the original point, and we'll go so far beyond the original point that you can't remember the original point, and now we have 5 of the topics that definitely weren't discussed.
Definitely in a different galaxy now. Definitely the madness. we shall marvel.
Well, that's what makes it fun, you know. This is why I think these things are important. Just two friends having a conversation. It's like you're now the little fly on the wall. You just get to be a part of it. It's great.
Welcome to our minds, which is probably a dangerous place to be, but welcome.
Oh, we're just getting started. Wait till we have a studio. It's going to be crazy. I already thought some of these things through. So
nice. We're going to need a few more of you people to watch it, other than just you and me.
Yeah. It's all about algorithm. We'll get there. You gotta dream big.
Yeah. If we can, I'm enjoying it anyway. I'm enjoying being able to chat and just natter about absolute rubbish and share some maybe valuable and maybe completely not valuable.
I think we discussed one good topic that possibly might help people, you know, in the terms of like faith and everything. Everything else around it, if it helped you, if not, just enjoy it and laugh with it. You know,
yeah, I'm sure at some point we'll get a load of hilarious comments in the chat, little the classic chat online that people love.
That's part of the fun.
Indeed it is.
All right.
Well,
I think we can bring this one to a close. I think
indeed.
It was another. Well, I'm gonna call it a go, and I had fun anyway. So
Me too. And I guess we shall see you next time for the next episode, where we will discuss equally random topics that we'll probably only discuss for 1 minute before we move on to something totally different.
Yes.
See you soon.
Okay. Woo.